Hey guys, it's your friend Moonhorse here with another story. This one's a little specific, so let me preface this a little bit. First off, the person who sent this to me, and this is kind of like they sent it specifically to me, did not want their name or anything attached to this, but it is something they really felt like they needed to get out, and they really wanted this story told, so that's why I'm doing this. And secondly, this isn't really a funny story as much as it is something that just needs to be said, you know? So, with all that being said, let's get into it. Let's read this. My undergraduate university uses a process by which new students take a survey and match people as roommates based on how similar they feel those students are. I was matched with a girl who, for the sake of this story, I'll call Mia. She seemed really nice online and could be a pleasant person to be around if she wanted to be. She's a good musician, irrelevant to the story, but it is one of the things we had in common. She's also very smart, but uses this intelligence she was gifted with to manipulate people to buy into her lies. She's also a queer person like myself. My parents and I contacted her and her family over Skype. Everything seemed to be going great. We met and had by that point established a degree of trust and friendship. Moving in wasn't really a hassle, but I noticed that there were small disagreements between herself and her mom over how she wanted her room to be organized. I figured it was just her mom wanting the best for her daughter, but my parents took me aside and told me that it looked like their relationship was kind of strained. Since I've always been pretty close with my family, this kind of hit a soft spot for me, and I have more of a desire to be as good of a friend as possible to her. Things were good for a time. I mean, she was a funny, nerdy person, and we talked at great lengths about our partners at the time. I was dating a girl who I was very excited about. This comes up later. She told me about her on and off again boyfriend. After a few days of living together, whenever I talked about something cute that my girlfriend at the time said or did, she'd give me this blank look as if she was just kind of staring through me. I was pretty creeped out. The first night I noticed this, she randomly told me about how she knew the perfect way to get away with murder, and unprompted, described this in detail. It was pretty hard to get to sleep that night because I was scared of the sudden change. It was at this time I started being more and more cautious around her, though I tried not to give off any weird vibes. Mia started crowding my stuff on her desk. I didn't mind this at first, but now that I think about it, I should have said something to her. Within a week of the new school year, I met the girl who would be one of my best friends to this day, and let's call her Mary, over lunch. We decided spontaneously to go to the gym together for our daily workouts. Mary met Mia when I went to pick up gym clothes from my room, and they seemed to hit it off pretty well. Mary and I worked out, planned to meet up for coffee later in the day, and I went to go take a shower. Mia was in our room still when I got back. I remember she gave me this weird smile like she expected something from me, but in a really creepy way. Does that make sense? Anyway, she asked me about my taste in corsets. It wasn't really an odd question. I mean, we had this conversation about how much she loves corsets and how I'd never worn one. But, I thought they were pretty cool. She had a web page pulled up on her laptop, a ton of corsets on it, and I pointed out the ones that I liked, and she then found a more inexpensive version of that one and bought it for me. I was surprised that she'd do this, but really grateful. I didn't ask her to or anything. It was just a really nice gesture. However, because of the weird smiles I'd been getting from her, I started wearing less quote-unquote revealing clothing. I never really wore anything bad. It just really started feeling, self-conscious. Mary and I started hanging out more and more over time. We'd grown really close to two other girls who lived in my hall. Sometimes we'd all hang out together. Sometimes I'd separate myself from the group in order to study or practice on my own music. Mia would pick fights with me, though. A few times, one of my male friends came over, something I cleared with her, and she'd comment how I'd straighten up the room whenever they come by. Well, yeah, I always fixed up the room when we had guests, no matter what their gender. I told her as much, and she got really angry. This was the first time she'd really gotten angry with me. I was really shaken afterwards, and I went to sleep over at a friend's house that night. I never made any comments about her drinking, going to frat parties, any of that, but she really started to get on my case about the following things. Having male friends when I had a girlfriend. Liking both Star Wars and Star Trek. Okay, now that's just petty. Sorry. Not being in the room very often after I made friends with a group of other classmen who'd been helping me with my classes and with extracurricular groups I was in. Knowing the times at which the music building locked. What? There was a lot. She'd get passionately angry, lumping some of these things in the category of me, quote, going out and doing stupid shit, unquote. She'd come in and pretend she was drunk while I was on Skype with my girlfriend, and I began living in constant state of fear of her anger and snapping. My desk was now a mess. Things really started to smell. She wouldn't wash dishes. She got mad whenever I brought them up. Things got worse when I went through a breakup. I was an emotional mess, to say the least. And Mia was the first person I'd go to. To be honest, I fed into the kindness, and I felt I needed it really badly. When I was an emotional mess, she held me, and then pushed me down so I was on her lap, close to her parts. I tried to move, but she physically held me there, forcefully even. I started getting flashbacks. I remember screaming no over and over. She wouldn't let me move. At least had the presence of mind to start using my grounding strategy to avoid a panic attack. It was while I was trying to breathe and calm down that I noticed how badly she smelled, like she hadn't been showering regularly. Ew. It was then that I found the strength to pull away and run to the bathroom just in time. Between vomiting and crying, I don't remember how long I stayed in there. I know my other friends were concerned and being helpful during the time I was having, especially Mary, but Mia was resentful, especially when I'd have close male friends over, or if I wanted to see any of my friends. It was like she hated seeing me get closer to other people who weren't her. She'd tell lies to my friends about me having sex with men when she wasn't in the room, and her walking in on me having sex with men. When we went to the grocery store together to pick out some things, she'd make me buy her stuff. The consequences of me not buying her things were either A, a yelling, screaming fit, or B, more rumors. Some of these rumors were about the girl who I separated from, and they were crazy. She even said I only turned to women because I'd been sexually violated. What a bitch. This is both not hers to say and nothing I ever told her. Because of these rumors, some people who I was friends with started acting really strangely around me or towards me. Her part of the room got messier by day, and it leaked, literally, into my space. She'd loudly masturbate over webcam to her on-again, off-again boyfriend while I was trying to sleep. One night, Mia came in visibly upset. She told me that a man had taken advantage of her at a party. I asked her if she wanted to report, call the police, anything. She said she told campus police already. I did what I could to comfort her. Regardless of the yelling, the rumors, everything, I simply had to help her in any way I could. We sat with our close friends in the hall, and Mary and Mia told us all about it. I'm not going to go into details to what she said. A few weeks after I moved out, one of these friends told me that Mia got really drunk in her room and told them while laughing that she lied about the whole thing and that he was a total dumbass who just took the fall. She also said I was stupid, and she said things just to get attention from me, and it worked. I don't know what to believe, but I have reason to believe that she did lie about that. About being raped, I mean. I have so much more to say about her, and I can answer any questions you may have. I know I'm telling it in bits and pieces, and it's painful to relay. In fact, I trusted her, and how a trust was broken really affected me. But I could not allow it to keep me from forming new and better bonds and relationships. My big dream is to make people happy, and to help people when I can. But with Mia, it felt like a cross of her simultaneously wanting to be with me, wanting to emotionally break me, and or, I'm not sure why this would be, but this was a reasoning a friend of mine gave, wanting something I had. I don't really want to think that there was a chance she could have, but living with her was wearing on me slowly. I think of it like peeling new paint off the wall to reveal older paint of the same color and roughly the same shade. I mean, there's still something there, but it was getting closer and closer to not really being able to handle being around her. As much as I wanted to help her and to be her friend, I was terrified of what she was capable of. By the time this happened, she'd started keeping a knife on her, and I was even more afraid of her than ever. I'd woken up in the middle of the night to a pillow pressed against my mouth. I needed to breathe, and she was literally smothering me. Again, I found my strength and ran to the bathroom, silently panicking. I moved dorm rooms, but even when I told the accommodations office about this, they took a side of the story that was hers. I have no idea what she said, and she stayed. It's a small campus, so I saw her around from time to time. Because Mary bought into her lies that Mia was telling her, they started living together. If you want to hear about what happened after that, I'll tell you, but I don't think I can get through much more right now. Thank you for letting me share this, and let me know if you want the rest. Thank you also for what you do and your empathy. I can tell that you are a good person. Well, thank you for sharing this story with all of us. And as I said, this person doesn't want their name or anything attached to it, so if you do have questions and you guys do want to continue this story, leave comments. They are watching this video as well as every other. I assume they are sub to the channel, so they will see this. I'm not going to say any names unless they want me to say their name, but yeah, leave comments, ask them, and that's, I'm not going to do the whole YouTuber outro. We need stories like this from time to time to remind us that as funny as the inept neckbeards and legbeards of the world can be, sometimes they're not funny. Sometimes they're monstrous and terrifying. And sometimes we need to realize that this isn't just a community for comedy. It's a community for everybody. We have to be there for each other. So thank you all for watching, and I don't know. How do you end this? Seriously, though, do leave comments. Ask if you need to ask. They are watching this. And again, you know who you are. Thank you for sharing this with us. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.